Oh hey, didn't see you there. It's the circus, not the circus. And if you're anything like me, an unemployed, nostalgic zillennial who yearns for their lost days of childlike wonder, then you're probably missing Club Penguin too. So I decided to rebuild it for us. And no, not literally. This isn't about some stupid penguins. This is about some stupid circus performers. So walk with me. Let's talk about it. Earlier this year, I launched my very first video game character customizer, The Performers. It lets you design and purchase your very own pixel character. We give you the sprite sheets and all the IP rights so you could take them and use them in your own projects. But I understand, game dev is hard. Ain't nobody really trying to do all that. So that's why I'm here. Welcome to the circus. This is our online game. You could chat with friends, go to the arcade, play mini games, listen to our 24/7 radio station, go to the movies, hella stuff for real. And it's only the beginning. But the problem is, this is not the circus yet. This is the circus as you know it. As you can see, we still got a lot of work to do, but that's what we're here for, right? Come on, let's keep walking. For the 290 of you who remember the Stack Shack devlog, I said that I was going to redo this map one final time, and I actually did. I started using all our new assets to just update the problem files in this game, but I realized to truly see the vision of the circus through, we were going to have to ground zero this. Part 1, the test. So before I took this huge undertaking on, I wanted to at least make sure it was possible. So I started a test project. The first thing I wanted to tackle was doing our player movement. I threw our pixel characters into a 3D world. As you guys know, we love that 2.5D style here. And basically just made a little, character mover, nothing crazy, basic Godot stuff. After that, we wanted to test our assets to make sure the proportions for the buildings, the cars, etc. were all looking good. Looks pretty damn good to me. Next, I wanted to test out multiplayer. I had no idea how I was gonna do the server stuff yet. Well, you know what? That's a problem for future, Isaiah. We'll figure that out down the line. The last thing I wanted to test out, I came up with this idea to do like dice rolling mechanics in a card jitsu game. So as you can see here, I'm testing out all the dice rolling mechanics. I wanted to make sure the physics of the dice rolled real in the game instead of just being some random assigned number and like a vanity mechanic. I wanted you to physically roll the dice. No real game mechanics or anything, just pure testing physics, testing logic, and all this is feeling pretty good. So I guess we could full send it and start making some assets now. So let's talk about the map. That's next. Part 2, the map. So basically there was like a 6-month gap between these last two parts. We did the tech demo, we knew the foundation could work, then my pixel artist basically just got cooking up on the assets, and that took like 6 months to just create the basic foundation of assets that we had going. At the end of 6 months, past all these commissions, past all these 120,000 things, I finally got time to work on the passion project again. So I picked it back up, got all the assets, and started building our world. When the players spawned in, I knew I wanted to feel like a live city. So I wanted them to spawn right on Main Street, and my goal now is to figure out what sightlines to add to Main Street. Obviously, we knew Stack Shack had to be a main location. I had this great idea for a new mini game in the casino, so that had to be a main location. And this whole first week was just feeling out the design of this Main Street to design the sightlines for the player to naturally gravitate you into different parts of the city. Basically, it was just iteration after iteration. I'd set a layout out, walk around the city for a little bit, be like, wow, my eye drags here. Let me add something there. Adjust it a little bit, continue on, wash, rinse, repeat. And I kept going through this thing where I'm like, okay, this is as big as I make in the city. Then the city got bigger. Then I was like, hey, this is as big as I make in the city. Then the city got bigger. And I was like, hey, this is as big as I make in the city. And this process kept going until we ended up at this. But we're not quite there yet, so we're back down to this. And we got our little Main Street, really naked background. Everything looks barren, but you can see it taking shape. And that's what mattered. Invest in the vision. After that, I got tired of walking around as a basic performer 0. So I decided to add all the performers in the game. And instead of figuring out how to connect it up to our system and all that nonsense at first, I just set it up to connect to any of our performers. I think there's currently like 53 at the time or something. So performers 1 through 50, you could select them from this menu and just change to any performer you want. If this this isn't the basic foundations of the game, I don't know what is. We have our world, we have our players walking around. No, it's not multiplayer yet. No, nothing is really in place, but the heart is there. That's what matters. Then the world started to feel a little barren, so I wanted to add NPCs. We've been doing pixel art for years, so I have so many of our characters and other people's characters, so I just started adding them around the map where it felt right, and I started falling in love at this point. This is where I started investing a lot of time in this project because I could see it coming to life. I have the world, I have the NPCs, I have my characters. This is everything I pitched you guys on the performers in the first place, so seeing it all come to life, I had to finish it. Part 3, the minigames. As some of you guys already know, Stack Shack is our premier location here at the Circus, has always been a part of it, will always be a part of it. That minigame is basically a spiritual successor to the OG DisneyChannel.com classic Sandwich Stacker. If you know, you know. If not, hopefully I can put some gameplay up on the screen to show you right now, but to me as a child, that game meant everything. As I continue to build out the Circus, I try to just hold on to that energy and push it forward. The next game was inspired by the dice mechanics, actually. I was scrolling on Instagram and I seen these people playing this game called Shut the Box. Basically a box, 12 numbers at the top. You roll, say you roll a 5, you have to assign 5 points. That could be a 5, that could be a 4 and a 1, a 3 and a 2, etc. The goal is to shut all the numbers before you run out of like points to assign, so to speak. And I think this game's just brilliant. I think it works well at the casino. Right now, we have it fully set up with like a free-to-play version, but in the future, I could see like some sort of paid. If you shut the box, you win a prize. There's a prize pool that keeps growing. I love all those kind of ideas. Now, the last game, we had the skate ramp here. Skate ramp is so sexy. Had to add it. When I was designing the skate game, my idea was something like a Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. I don't know if you guys know the graffiti in that game. Like when you hit graffiti, you have to draw on the map really quick. And that's the feeling I wanted to capture. It's really not that feeling quite yet. The concept is there. I just kept revising it and touching it up, so it's passable now. Still needs a lot of work, but those are basically our 3 mini games: Stack Shack, Shut the Box, and Skate. Next, I wanted to start revising our map. As I'm walking around this world, I'm feeling the life, but it still feels a little soulless. So we went, added parks, forests, we added these light posts everywhere. I started messing with the tiles before I had everything on a flat surface. It felt very Minecrafty. We had to fix the resolution for the planes, add them under the buildings, and now there's sort of layers to the city. It's like the street level, then the sidewalk level, then the concrete level, and then the building level. So I think it adds a little depth instead of just being a flat map. I started to realize that like, watching people play test, they would like walk around certain areas of the map that didn't have anything. So instead of just populating our main street, I realized that we needed stuff in all the other places. So that way nobody's walking for too long without seeing something. You should only have to walk for like 30 seconds before you run into something that's like notable. So I just try to space out the map with sight lines to draw you towards stuff, and also just different activities to do once you get to the locations. After that, I wanted to add some NPC logic. The stagnant ones were cool, but I thought, what if we have a robot patrolling the whole street? What if we make our skateboarder go up and down on the half pipe? Oh, what if we make a shooting star randomly fall out of the sky every now and then? These are all characters I've had from past animations, past games, etc. since we've been building here at the Circus, and it's just cool to like actually put them to use. So I just wanted this world to feel lived in. As you're walking around, even if you're the only one online, I wanted to feel like a actual lived in world. After that, I wanted to work on proper authorization because we had it so you could just select any performer, but you're just choosing a number. It's arbitrary. Nobody wants to look at, number 26, and nobody knows what that is. We need pictures of what they're actually logging in for, and if they logged in and own a performer, I want to reward you. You shouldn't even have to go search for what your number is. It should pop up in your account in your email. So at this point in time, I handled all the proper authorization stuff. I log in with your email, it pops up my character, boop to boop. And as this part of refining the map, it really was refining the Circus, and we kind of got the whole thing figured out. For me, the best sideline on the map is, there's 3 that come to mind. It's right when you go on Main Street, the casino, Stack Shack, the circus tent, the half pipe in the distance. It's like, I think that's the initial pull for people, and I like to see how most people gravitate towards the skate park side. Another one of my favorite sidelines is down, like walking down the long street. We're gonna put a couple buildings over there, but like on the back side where you see the skate park, the circus tower in the distance, all that. And then my 3rd favorite sideline will be all the way on the left side of the map, walking up to see Epic Box Boy and the water tower. The water tower addition we added later on. That was like right around this time where we added like the arcade asset, another taco shop, all the stuff for the background buildings that I'm talking about. Yeah, the Circus water tower felt like perfect branding for it. Server side logic. Part 5, multiplayer. Now, this whole world was coming together, all these ideas are starting to culminate how they're supposed to. Now I need to make it actually work online. So I'm not gonna lie, I use AI to help me with a lot of the server side logic. Whoa there. I use AI to help me with a lot of the server side logic. But basically what we came up with is we nest a headless version of our game on our Linux server, and then all of our client side, they pull into that. So I got the basic movement working, then we got the names, then we got the skins, then we got the animations. And this was basically a process of just repeating that until we got every multiplayer mechanic we wanted. Part 6, everything everywhere all at once. At this point, once multiplayer was up and working, I was testing it with the friends and the homies and stuff. You couldn't tell me nothing. We were gonna do a full send on this. I was just gonna go for it. I started cooking up our radio station. My vision was to have this 24/7 radio station that just broadcasts through the circus. You could go to listen.thecircus.com, tune into the radio station anytime you want, listen in the background while you're studying, things like that. Or you could listen to it in the game. When you go up to any of the radios in our game and hit listen, it'll just tune right into the radio station instead of like being some already implemented track. There's no stale tracks in the game. You're tuning live into the radio station when you tap into the radio in the circus. So when you pause it, it doesn't really pause. You're just pausing the stream and you'll pick back up when, you know, the time comes. After that, we worked on the arcade. I wanted a place where you could play all of our bigger games and mini games, client games, all that stuff. And then same for the cinema. I wanted a place you could go watch these things. And that's just for starters. Those are ways to access the information. But my actual goal with this is to have like a theater that you can go sit in. It's a live multiplayer hub. You see everybody walking around and the movies playing on the screen. So that'll be the next iteration. We'll do that both for the theater and the nightclub, so people could go walk around, listen to music and stuff. And then I think we'll keep the arcade as its own separate thing, since some of these other games I'm plugging into are way too big to try to fit in as a mini game. I'll just give you access to go shoot for them. But once those started coming together, the circus is feeling pretty great. For this version of it at least, the vision's coming through. Part 7, Dice Dojo. I touched on it a little bit earlier, but at its core, it's a spiritual successor to Card Jitsu, for those of you who played that on Club Penguin back in the day, which at its core is basically just rock, paper, scissors, if we're being honest. But I wanted to implement this dice mechanic, so that way if there was ever a tie, types always win out. But you know, in the original, when you tied, it was just a null for the round. But now if there's a tie, I want the higher roll to take the win. So it just adds this other layer here. And then I've been playing around with this concept of the scorecard, how instead of just being linear graphs, right or left, what if you had the option to place it and kind of make it like a tic-tac-toe thing where you're still trying to get 3, but you have to choose where your placement is. So we'll see how those come together. But I love the concept for this game because for me, I think it could be expanded upon a lot. I think, you know, we need to have PvP so you can go and challenge other players to it. We could have different collectible items, you know, different dice you could collect, different special abilities, power up, all that stuff. And I think this could be the thing that just keeps compounding and getting expanded upon as the circus grows, and kind of use that as the main vessel for things here at the circus. Because in the lore and like some of the scripts somewhere, it's like violence is banned and this is kind of how people dish it out, you know, they dice battle, so to speak. So I would like to keep expanding upon that. Would love to hear what you guys think in those areas. And yeah, hopefully by the time this is done, this is fully implemented enough to actually make this cut of the video. But I had to include it in there just because that's a good mark of the future and where we're headed. I think that's a perfect segue into number 8, I believe. Number 8, the future. For me, this is like, you know, my Disneyland. I always joked about the Black Wall Disney when we came up, and I had to venture away from that branding because I find it way too limiting. But ultimately, that's what this is. And the way I look at the circus is sort of like our Disneyland, so to speak. It's just going to keep growing and expanding as we push farther in development. Our skills increase, the game will increase, and it'll be this feedback loop. Oh, as the community responds to these things, we can respond to those things. And in my brain, I just want the circus to keep growing. Some ideas I've heard thrown out so far, we want like friend requests, you know, customizable houses. You should be able to own houses, you know, storyline, story mode, more interactive stuff between friends is what I'm hearing. And when I look back on Club Penguin and think of the fondness of those days, that's what it was about. The social status, the collectible items, the mini games, it was a perfect package. So that's what I'd like to keep aiming to capture here as we continue to grow. Just let me know what you guys think, what other stuff that you'd like to pull out of it. But the foundation is laid. I would like the scene just to keep growing and going as far as it can. But yeah, that's the progress so far. I think this is a great place to track it for devlog 1. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you don't like. This, that, and the third. Comments, questions, concerns, all the nonsense. I'm just really happy that this is out there and that we saw the vision through. Since the inception of our video game character customizer, I knew I wanted to give you guys the opportunity to walk around a multiplayer world with them, and I love that we laid the foundation. It's basic, it's simple, but it's something. So if you'd like to play, go to play.thecirkus.com or play.theperformers.com. If you want to listen to the radio station, it's listen. Either of those websites. And then if you want to make your own character, theperformers.com. Aside from that, check out the merch, check out our site, watch our content, but realistically, I just want you to come explore this world with us and help it build. We'd love to chat, throw ideas, join our Discord, and yeah, you guys know the get down. Thank you for watching. It's The Circus, not The Circus. We'll see you later.
Don't forget to subscribe.